both of y'all are like real spiritual. Am I getting that vibe from both
Yeah,
of you?
for sure.
All right.
Definitely.
So then, where would be like the best place that you would want to go to relax and kind of be your own self type deal?
I don't know. I think if I'm answering that part, that it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Anywhere near the water kind of works for me. But
Water works for you? Are you
got a different-
water or?
Foresty type.
Yeah.
I was gonna say forest.
I like
yeah.
being surrounded by like tall trees and things like that.
Yeah.
So are you a tree climber, or are you kind of just down at the ground looking at the top?
More so, I'm down at the ground. I like feeling small in nature. Yeah, that's what's good about nature, in my opinion.
All right.
So why do you balance water on your head?
This is Angel of Water. Hello to Awa. This is Angel of Water. I love to dance with Angel of Water all the time.
Very nice. Okay. They say you're a very good dancer.
Oh, really?
And that you're a very interesting person.
Thank you. Thank you. Who said that?
Your friends over here.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Anika. Wow. Oh, thank you. He can tell you the Old Testament. He can tell you everything.
Are you religious?
No, I'm an atheist.
Okay. And why do you research religions?
Well, I was forced to for the first 18 years of my life. So
When did you become atheist, and what made you make that shift?
became an atheist when I was about 16 is when I really finally made up my mind. And it was just couldn't believe in it anymore.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
With atheism,
Yes.
would you rather choose that you are your own God because you create your own stuff, or do you just fully know God at all?
I think involving the word God in anything really kind of just removes to me for lack of a better expression, the power, the supernatural, if you will, power of nature. Involving the word God in anything just to me is I still feel again, I guess experiences and a sense of something that's bigger than me, but it's more encapsulated in just the universe than some singular entity.
So then would you just basically say we're vibrational frequency entities that are having this human experience off of dimethyltryptamine?
I mean, I would remove the vibrational experience, I guess.
Really?
But
Everything vibrates, though, at a frequency.
Yes, yeah. Although I think, I guess it's, again, we're all just interpreting our reality the best way that we can, I think.
What would be the best way to interpret your reality?
I think it's different for everyone. I mean, it's interesting. Sam and I actually talk about this a lot, where it's
you can go over here if you want.
What is and I guess the conclusion I've kind of arrived at is just, what's the best way to interpret reality is however you want to interpret reality. I mean, I might interpret it different than you interpret it, but in the end, I believe that we'll all die, we'll all go into nothingness.
Nothingness.
And so you might as well live your life the way you want to and enjoy it, because you only have a little time.
That is true. So in your opinion, do you think that you are able to create experiences off of the thought, or what's your opinion on, do you think it's all just random chance, or do you think you create your worlds?
I mean, I think it's a mix of both. I think the world created itself, if you will. Again, that's
just
big stretch. But
electrons hit each other, and then it started, and then elements became a thing, and then
drastic oversimplification to say the world created itself, but basically, and then we just interpret what we see. The fact is that we can only, I can only look at the grass and say it's green because I know what green looks like. I mean, I have a friend who's horridly colorblind. Green looks totally different to him. So it's and he'll never experience green in the same way I will, except if he puts on certain glasses that color correct. But even then, is that really correction, or is that just making it what I see it as?
Yeah, because we only see a spectrum. We see the small little spectrum, and then there's all these other different wavelengths that we can't see. So it's cool that I just blanked on that, because I was going to go in certain parts of the continent, I forget where it was, but they had never seen the color green.
Yeah.
So when they were telling them which one's green out of all the blues, they weren't able to tell.
And different cultures interpret colors in different ways. So for instance, a lot of cultures I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to say, but a lot of cultures don't have words for pink, for instance.
That's what it was. They didn't have that name for that color.
Yeah,
so
they think like you said, ancient Greek, for instance, and the Homeric like myths and legends. In the original Greek, the word for like when Homer talks about like the sea, like the blue sea, he's not saying blue. He basically says like green, because that's the only way that they had to conceptualize blue was a shade of green.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, pretty much is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Think about water in that color, that part of the world. It's kind of aqua, you know.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And then I'll switch over to you. Do you have a different belief on all of this, or
I don't have any beliefs. I'm not a blind person.
you're not a blind person? So what's that entail?
That means I don't have to believe anything. I can see things for myself. I can experience things for myself.
Were you did you grow up on like, I don't know, would it be like Krishna, like Hinduism and Buddhism and?
I've heard stories, but like they were not part of any religious tradition. Like either they were on television, I would watch them, or you'd read like storybooks on them. So it was not like part of religion ever. Yeah.
Alright, so then you weren't raised to do any of that. You were raised to do your own thing, or do you just take on your own path and didn't look back, moved to Michigan?
I mean, in the East, most religions are a way to experience the self. Because I think the one difference between Eastern traditions and Western traditions is that unlike looking up to a heaven or like a God outside, in the East you can always look inside. And they say anything you can experience in the external world, you can also experience in yourself. So you don't have to go to like a temple, you never have to read any books, you never have to like, pray to someone external. You can always just go deeper within in yourself. In fact, every person is born perfect. Every person is a pure soul. They come from divinity and they go back to divinity. So in that sense, we're always there. It's like the divine nature is always there in us, in the plants around us, and in the world around us. So it's in some sense there externally too, but then you can also find it internally. And one of the best more like scientific explanations of this, so I have a co-advisor in the physics department who does string theory, and the most recent explanation for black holes is very similar. They say information inside a black hole is basically like a hologram. So anything you see like as a three-dimensional information or like an experience, you can also have it projected from a two-dimensional, it's called ADS-CFT duality. So it's sort of like what you see externally, you also can see internally. It all comes from within you.
So would that be the same concept of like, let's say, for instance, I had set in my mind that I'm going to have some beautiful woman walk up to me. And then would that be two-dimensional?
So
and then
here's the
three-dimensional it'd happen?
One. Any woman who walks up, if you ever see and your mind goes, oh, what a beautiful woman, it's you who recognize the beauty.
Okay.
Yeah?
That makes sense, yeah.
So
Your concept of what beauty is.
So even though it was stimulated externally, you had to have the vision. It's like the eyes have the beauty, the beholder, or what is it called in English?
Eyes are in the beauty of the beholder.
Something like that. Yeah, you guys know it.
No, beauty is in the eye. I messed it up, and then everyone's congratulating me for messing it up.
I got what you're trying to say.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
But the point is, like you internally, the fact that you could see something beautiful like that and give it that quality means that internally there is some beauty in you to be able to recognize something. It's like try hitting this hand, like try punching. But if it's soft, it will like not feel the impact, right?
Yeah.
Like if you try to fist it and like nothing happens to it. The reason is anything hard can never come in contact with soft. Like soft will just stay soft.
Will it absorb it or just not?
Like how will something soft ever feel something hard getting impacted if it never knew what it means to be hard? Like if it was always soft, like sponge or like water. Can you cut water with a knife? No, it'll keep flowing. You can never harm water with a knife because it just doesn't know what it means to be sharp.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. with
So
that.
in that sense, like if you are beautiful from the inside, you can only know beauty on the outside. Like, how will you know what what it means to not be beautiful if you are beautiful on the inside?
Yeah, so if you
So
love
it's
yourself and you,
Yeah.
if you love yourself, then you project it out, and then everyone around you is.
In fact, it's not even it's sort of like automatically reflected out, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like an aura, like
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. All right. Well, it's a lot of insight that I kind of knew, but I'm glad that I was able to talk to. It's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's different
Oh.
different languages. And it's fine. It's fine. Gravity accepts everybody.
We had talked to one guy actually two of them that completely different, kind of the same. Talked about like vibrational frequencies and all of us vibrating on a frequency. So with manifestations and everything like that, that's something that you partake in, believe in.
100%.
Have you ever had any manifestations actually come to fruition?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. All right. You got a good story?
Man, honestly, just in everyday life, we try to operate at a high frequency, and life rewards us in that way. So it's more so an everyday type of process. Nothing in particular, just everyday life.
Is it a little bit of yoga and meditation?
Oh yeah.
Do you do chanting and breath work?
We're getting into breath work. I haven't gotten the chance yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
dude,
that's-
chanting is crazy, man. It'll make you feel amazing afterwards. It's very enlightening.
What's your spiritual background?
I mean, during the COVID period, I just learned to meditate, and it was really just the fact of there was nothing to do. The gyms closed down. I was pretty much going to be like a bodybuilder and do like personal training, and then like I lost 178 to 146 pounds and just lost everything and realized that my mental health is more important than becoming the biggest guy out there. So I was just like went with that, and then was more so a free spirit than trying to do something that wasn't me anymore, if that makes sense. So like it's so like calming that I'm not having any questions to think about.
That's like a revival.
Yeah. It's always good to. Those one wheels are always so cool. They're so expensive though.
Going pretty fast. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
No.